Hey students, in this particular video, we are going to study about the human reproduction. And this is the part 1 of the human reproduction, and we will be covering human reproduction in the various parts. So in this following video, we will be covering the following topics. The number 1 topics, we will be seeing what is meiosis and mitosis. So basically these are two types of cell division that we will be seeing in this particular video, that is meiosis and mitosis. Second thing, we will be talking about the different hormones related to the human reproductive system. So we will be talking about different hormones. And the third last thing we will be covering in this particular video will be the puberty age. So let's get started with the first topic, that is meiosis and mitosis. So what are these cell divisions? As we already know, a very famous scientist, Rudolf Virchow. Rudolf Virchow stated that the new cells are formed from the pre-existing cells by the division of them, by the division in them. So these are the cells that we are having over here. So these two cells are formed from a parent cell, from a pre-existing cell by the division. So that what Rudolf Virchow stated, that the new cells, these are the new daughter cells, these are formed by this parent cell. So this is the parent cell which after division forming these two daughter cells. So what are these cell divisions? So we have two types of cell divisions. First is mitosis. In mitotic cell division, the first point is there will be a parent cell and the parent cell will be forming two daughter cells. So this is the parent cell and it will be forming two daughter cells. This is the first one for the mitotic division that you must remember. So the second point about the mitotic division, that it is also known as equational division. It is also known as equational division. Why we call it as equational division? We will just see. So just imagine this is a parent cell, and inside this parent cell, there will be nucleus, and let's imagine this nucleus contains 46 chromosomes. This nucleus contains how many chromosomes? 46 chromosomes. And when this parent cell show the mitotic division, so obviously it will form two daughter cells. And these two daughter cells also contains the 46 chromosomes, same as the parent cell contains. So this daughter cell will also contain 46 chromosomes and this daughter cell will also contain 46 chromosomes. Hence the number of chromosomes between the parent and the daughter generation remain the same. Hence that's why it is also known as equational division. It is also known as equational division. So why we call it as equational division? Yes, because the parent cell contains the 46 chromosomes and after division, after the mitotic division, the daughter cell also contains the 46 chromosomes just as the parent cell contains. Hence this division is also known as equational division. And this mitotic division, one more point to remember about the mitotic division is, this mitotic division is used during the growth of an organisms or repairing of the tissue, right? Growth of an organism. For example, we already know that each and every cell in my body, each and every cell our body is formed by the single cell zygote. So this is my first cell. This is the first cell of our life. This is known as zygote. We will definitely see how zygote is formed in the subsequent lectures after the fertilization between the ovum and the sperm. So after the fertilization, the zygote is formed, and this zygote in case of humans contains how many chromosomes? Yes, 46 chromosomes. And this zygote undergo repeatedly divisions. And forms many cells, and obviously the repetitive division will be mitotic division. And this zygote will transform into two cells. Then further the two cells undergo the mitotic division, forms the 4 cells and 8 cells, 16 cells. You get the idea. And each and every cells in my body will contain how many chromosomes? Yes, 46 chromosomes, because the division that is taking place over here is the mitotic division, and mitotic division is the equational division. Is the what division it is? Equational division. It preserves the chromosome number from the parent cell to the daughter cells. So I just hope the mitotic division is clear to all of you, that mitotic division form only two daughter cells from one single parent cell to two daughter cells. It's an equational division. And what is the meaning of equational division? It preserves the chromosome number between the daughter cell and the parent cell. And the most important significance of the mitotic division is it's utilized in the growth of an organism. For example, the single cell zygote is transformed into a multicellular organism, human body, and each cell of the human body is formed by the zygote. And how many chromosomes are present in the human zygote? It's 46. And how many chromosomes are present right now in single cell, in every cell of my body, are 46. So this is the first division. The second division, very important division, we are gonna talk about is the meiotic division or meiosis division. For now, you have to remember that in meiosis division, a single parent cell is responsible for the formation of four daughter cells. I know this is very tricky, and right now you are concerning about how four cells are formed, but for now you just need to remember that a single parent cell are gonna form how many daughter cell? Four daughter cell. But in case of mitosis, a single parent cell gonna form how many daughter cells? Yes, you're right, two daughter cells. And in mitotic division, a single parent cell is able to form how many daughter cells? Four daughter cells. Okay. Second point you're gonna remember about the meiotic division is a reduction division. It's a reduction division. What is the meaning of reduction division? Reduction means like something is gonna reduce, right? So for example, suppose this is a parent cell. Which cell it is? It's a parent cell, and in parent cell, inside its nucleus, we have 46 chromosomes. We have 46 chromosomes. I'm talking about the human parent cell. And after meiotic division, or meiosis division, you already know how many daughter cells are gonna form. Four daughter cells are gonna form. And each daughter cell, very very important, pay attention over here, each daughter cell contains half of the parent chromosomes. Like each daughter cells gonna contains how many chromosomes? 23 chromosomes. But that's the meaning of the reduction division. So meiosis is a reduction division, very important point. The parent cell contains for example 46 chromosomes, then the daughter cell will contains half the 46 chromosome, that is 23 chromosomes. Hence that's why meiosis is known as reduction division. And meiosis division is used in the formation of gametes. What is the meaning of gametes? Gametes means these are the germ cells. For example, sperm, and for example, ovum. So male will produce sperm and female human will produce ovum. So sperm, can you guess how many chromosomes the sperm will have and how many chromosomes the ovum will have? Yes, you are definitely right. The sperm will have how many chromosomes? 23 chromosomes. And the ovum will also have how many chromosomes? 23 chromosomes, because both are formed by the process known as what? Meiosis. Yes. So for the continuity of generation, you already know that gametes are formed. Like if we want to continue our species, if we are continue to reproduce, so we have to form the gametes. And gametes are of two types, the sperm and the ovum. The sperm is a male gamete and the ovum is the female gamete. But the sperm and ovum must contains the half number of chromosomes, that is 23 number of chromosomes, because when they fertilize, you already know what gonna form? Zygote gonna form. And zygote will contain 46 chromosomes, obviously 23 from the sperm and 23 from the ovum. So zygote will contain how many chromosomes? 46 chromosomes. And this zygote will undergo repeatedly what division? Mitotic division, mitosis division, and it will lead to the formation of a unicellular, it will lead to the formation of a multicellular human body. And each cell of the human body will contains how many chromosomes? 46 chromosomes, because zygote will undergo repeatedly mitotic division. So I just hope these two divisions are pretty much clear to you guys now. So if you have any doubts, you can just ask me in the comment section below. Okay, so let's just move to the further topic. So next topic we are gonna learn about the hormones, and we will only gonna talk about those hormones which are related to the reproductive system, which are related to the reproductive system. Let's get started. So there's a part in our brain, which is known as hypothalamus. So this is how it gonna looks. So this part of the brain is known as what? Hypothalamus. Very important part of the brain. We will discuss that in the control and coordination chapter when we will talking about the brain, human brain, right? But for now, just remember, hypothalamus is a part of brain. It's a part of brain. And if it is a part of brain, can you just tell me what kind of cells the hypothalamus is made up of? Just take a pause and just guess, like a random guess, what type of cells it will be made up of. Yes, you are definitely right. The hypothalamus, if it's a part of brain, then it will be made up of what cells? Neuron cells or nerve cells, right? And below the hypothalamus, there is a very important gland, very important endocrine gland, and that important endocrine gland is known as pituitary. So this endocrine gland that I have drawn below the hypothalamus is a part of brain, and below the hypothalamus there is an endocrine gland, and that endocrine gland is known as pituitary gland. Very important gland. And pituitary gland has two parts in case of humans. So this is the anterior part, means this is the front part of the pituitary gland, right? So this is the anterior pituitary or anterior part of the pituitary gland, and this one right over here is the posterior part of the pituitary. So pituitary is an endocrine gland. And pituitary will gonna form several hormones which are related to the reproductive system. So let's get started with the same. So this part is the hypothalamus, and below the hypothalamus we have pituitary gland. So pituitary gland gonna release like two hormones which are related to the reproductive system. So are you able to see this anterior pituitary over here? Anterior pituitary releases two hormones which are known as LH and FSH. We will gonna see full form, and we will definitely gonna see like what their function is. But for now, just remember, the anterior pituitary part of the pituitary gland releases two hormones which are known as LH and FSH. But there is a one problem here. Like if anterior pituitary wants to release these two hormones LH and FSH, the signal for the release of the LH and FSH from the anterior pituitary must come from the hypothalamus. We called the pituitary gland as the master endocrine gland of our body. I just hope you remember this. The pituitary gland is known as master endocrine gland of our body because it controls several bodily function by releasing several hormones. We will definitely see that. But just remember one point. If anterior pituitary wants to release these two hormones, LH or FSH, the signal must come from the hypothalamus. So I can call the hypothalamus is the master of master endocrine gland. Pituitary gland is the master, and who is the master of master? It's the hypothalamus. So if pituitary gland wants to release the hormone LH and FSH, there is a signal that is coming from the hypothalamus via hypothalamus to the anterior pituitary, and that signal is known as GnRH. Just for now, just remember these short form. We will definitely see the long form of these hormones LH and FSH and GnRH, like what this hormone do and what the full form of these hormone. Just for now, remember it like this. From the hypothalamus, a hormone will come which is known as GnRH, and GnRH will travel from the hypothalamus up to the anterior pituitary, and the GnRH is a signal. It's a hormone. It's a signal that is coming from the hypothalamus, and it traveled towards the anterior pituitary. And if anterior pituitary got this signal GnRH, it will release two hormones, that is LH and FSH. And always remember, all the hormones in our body are released into blood. So LH and FSH are hormones which is produced by the anterior pituitary, under the influence of the hypothalamus. I just hope you will get this. I just hope. If you have any doubt regarding this, just let me know in the comment section below. I will make a separate video about it. Okay, so one more time, hypothalamus is releasing GnRH. This GnRH is traveling towards the anterior pituitary, and anterior pituitary, after getting the signal GnRH, it releases two hormones, that is LH and FSH, and every hormones are released into the blood. So these LH and FSH are released into the blood, and via blood, it travels towards the reproductive organ. So via blood, it travels towards the reproductive organ. And in case of males, this LH and FSH hormone from the anterior pituitary travels towards the reproductive organ, that is testis. And in case of females, it travels towards the ovaries. So the main function of the LH and FSH, it act upon the reproductive organ. In case of male, testis, and in case of female, ovary. Let's just take an example that so that it will be clear to you. So what is this? So you already know this is the hypothalamus, and below the hypothalamus we have which gland? Yes, you are right, and we have pituitary gland. So let me just mention one more time for you. So this is the hypothalamus, very easy. This is the, yes, you're right, this is the posterior pituitary, and this one is the anterior pituitary. So let's just take an example of the human reproductive system, that is male reproductive system. So here we have testis. In case of males, here we have testis. I'm just taking an example, and we will definitely see this example in pretty much more detail in the subsequent lectures. So this is only the lecture first of the human reproduction, and we are only covering the 3 topics. Okay, so we already know that a signal from hypothalamus will reach to the anterior pituitary, and that signal is known as, yes, you're right, GnRH. And from the anterior pituitary, 2 hormones are released, LH and what? FSH. And these 2 hormones travel via blood, and will reach to the testis. In case of male, will reach to the testis. So let's just take an example of only one of these hormone, and I'm taking the example of LH. So this LH via blood travel towards the testis and reach the testis, and after reaching the testis, it allows the testis cell to function. And testis start producing a very important hormone. This is known as a testosterone. So in case of human males, the LH hormone from the anterior pituitary traveling via blood and acting on the testis and releasing which hormone? Testosterone hormone. And testosterone hormone has many functions in case of human males. We will definitely see. And one of the function in case of human male, that it is responsible for the formation of beard and mustache in case of human males. So think it like this, like if regularly GnRH from hypothalamus is acting on the anterior pituitary, the anterior pituitary will gonna release LH, and LH via blood travel to the testis, and testis will continuously producing the testosterone, and there will be a time that whole human male body will be filled with the beard and mustache, like will be filled with the hair, like, right? So you are able to see over here is that we need to control the secretion of testosterone from the testis. So yes, we need to control. There should be control of the testosterone hormone. So how will gonna control the level of testosterone in the male body? You already know that testosterone is a hormone which is also responsible for the aggression in case of human males. So if continuously GnRH is coming from the hypothalamus, the GnRH is acting on the anterior pituitary, the anterior pituitary will gonna release which hormone? Yes, LH, and LH will be act on the testis, and continuously testosterone will form, and continuously the human male will be filled with the all-time aggression. So you know that we need to control this hormone testosterone. So let's say the level of testosterone in our human body passes a limit. So there's a limit, there must be a limit for this testosterone hormone, and if it surpasses that limit, if it's higher than this, higher than that limit, so what will gonna testosterone do? See, this testosterone hormone now will travel via blood. You already know hormone always travel via blood, so it will be travel via blood, the higher level of testosterone. There is a limit of the testosterone hormone, and the testosterone hormone is higher than that limit. The higher level of that testosterone will travel via blood and reaches to the hypothalamus and anterior pituitary, and it gonna shut off hypothalamus and anterior pituitary. And if hypothalamus is gonna shut off, the GnRH will not come. If the GnRH will not come, it will not act on anterior pituitary, and if anterior pituitary is not acting, is not producing hormone LH, the LH will not work on the testes, and yes, you are right, the testosterone level will drop. And if the testosterone level will drop to less than a certain limit, this negative feedback mechanism will stop, and hypothalamus will again produce GnRH, again act on the anterior pituitary, again LH will come and work on the testes, and testes will start producing again testosterone. So very simple, very simple. If testosterone level is high, it will gonna switch off the hypothalamus and the anterior pituitary. If anterior pituitary and hypothalamus is switched off, then GnRH will not come, anterior pituitary will not work, LH will not come, testes will not function, and testosterone will stop producing by the testes. So very simple. So this is how we gonna control the level of hormone in our human body. We will definitely see more cases of this particular mechanism. It is known as negative feedback mechanism or negative feedback regulation. I just hope this is very pretty much clear to you. So this is the second topic that we have covered, the hormonal system. Just for now, remember GnRH, LH and FSH, how the system is, like in brief, how the system is regulating itself, how the hormonal system are regulating. And please remember this LH and FSH hormone, we will definitely talking about these two hormones in detail. So these are the reproductive hormone related to the reproduction in case of human, male and female. So let's just come to the final topic. And that will be puberty age. So what's a puberty age? Let's just understand it by an example. So let's just say, first take an example of a male. So let's say a male is born and after a certain period of time, let's say the male is now 11 years old. And in case of that male, that their testes now start producing a sperm cell. Their testes are now functional. That male is born, and the male is now how many years old? 11 or 12 years old. And in that particular age, something is happening. What is happening? His testes are now functional, and testes start producing a sperms. Testes start producing sperms, and you already know testes produces sperm via which division? Yes, you are right. Which division? Meiotic division, because sperm contains how many chromosomes? 23 chromosomes, half the number of a normal cell contains, right? So sperms are producing by the process called meiosis, and at the age of 11 or 12, a male start producing sperm, right? And one more stuff, the male start producing the hormone testosterone. This particular age at which a male's testes are now functional, start producing sperm, start producing testosterone hormone, this particular age is known as puberty age, right? In case of males, it's around 11 to 13 years, 11 to 12 years. And this testosterone hormone is responsible for certain changes in that male. What are these changes? Like growth of muscles, growth of muscles. So testosterone hormone is responsible for the growth of muscles in case of males. And second, growth of like appearance of beard and mustache, appearance of beard and mustache. Third, like the male is filled with the aggression. This hormone is responsible for the aggression in case of males. And fourth, the human male body start producing many RBC. So this hormone is also responsible for the RBC production. So these are the changes that we will gonna see after a certain period of time, after a certain age, and that age is known as puberty age. So in case of male, when he is of age 11 to 12 years old, his testes are now gonna function. And what are the function of testes? I already told you, the production of sperm and the production of testosterone hormone. And this testosterone hormone is responsible for the changes in the body of that male. And these are the particular changes. So these changes are gonna see from the puberty age onwards, right? And I have a question for you, and we will definitely I'm going to definitely answer that question in the subsequent lecture. Why this particular age, why at only this particular age the testes are now function? Why? I have a question. Why? So you have to find its answer and comment down in the video section below. Why only at this particular age? Like for example, like if a male is a 5 years old, let's say if the male is 5 years old, his testes are not functioning. Why? Why is the case? Why his testes are not functioning? And what's the special about this age? His testes are now functioning and start producing sperms and testosterone hormone. You have to find it, right? I'm definitely gonna answer this question in the subsequent video lectures. Okay, so let's talk about the human female. Human female, yes, you have to pay attention over here now. So let's say a human female is not born yet. Yes, human female is not born yet, and she is inside her mother's womb. So she is not born yet. Very important case. Human female, very important case. So she is not born yet, and she is only a fetus, inside her mother's womb, mother's uterus. So she is not born yet, she is just a fetus, she is not fully grown yet, and yet the female fetus start producing ovum. It start the process of ovum production. Very important. Starts producing ovum. So it's a very important case. You must have to remember that. Like we have studied just now, in case of male, when he is 11-year old, then he start producing sperm. But the case is opposite over here. In case of human female, she is not born yet. She is in her mother's uterus. She is just a fetus, and inside her ovary, she start producing ovum. But when she borns, that process of ovum production temporary arrest. Ovum production temporary arrest or temporary stored, temporary stops. Only temporary stops. So the ovum production starts when she was not born yet, and when she born, the ovum production temporary stops. And now she is, let's say, 10 years old. That ovum production process that is started during the embryonic life now restarts. Okay, so ovum production process begins, right? So this is the very big difference between the male and female. The male start producing sperms when he was 11 or 12 years old, but a female start producing ovum when she was not born yet, and when she born, the ovum production temporarily stop, and at the age of 10 years, let's say 10 years or 9 years in certain females, the ovum production again begins. and And the organ which is responsible for the production of ovum, yes, it's the ovary. So it's the first function of the ovary. And the second function of the ovary is the formation of a hormone that is known as estrogen. And this estrogen is responsible for certain changes, certain changes in human female. We have seen above, like what is the hormone responsible for certain changes in the human male? That was the testosterone, and that hormone start producing at the age of 11 to 12. But in case of human female, this hormone is produced by the ovary. This hormone is produced by the ovary at the age of 10. So what are the changes that we are gonna see when this hormone is released, estrogen? In case of human female, the human female voice become high pitch. Whereas I have forgot to mention over here that, like, this testosterone hormone is also responsible for the low pitch voice. The voice become deep and heavy in case of males due to this hormone. But in case of females, the estrogen hormone is responsible for the high pitch of the voice. Second, mammary glands start developing. Mammary glands or start developing breast starts developing in case of human female. The breast not gonna develop in case of human male, remember that. But in case of human females, the breast are gonna start developing under which hormone? Estrogen hormone, right? And the third changes you're gonna see in case of human female after the formation of estrogen hormone at the age of 8 to 10 years, and that is the broadening of pelvis area, broadening of the thigh area, right? Thigh area, because there will be deposition of fat over there. We will definitely gonna see the reason of that, right? So broadening of the pelvis area, and these are the changes are occurring at after a certain age. And yes, that age is known as puberty age. So this is the puberty age. This is that age in case of humans after which we are gonna see certain changes in case of male and in case of females. And you already know, like, which hormone in case of male is responsible for these changes, and which hormone in case of human female are gonna responsible for these changes. But I'm again emphasizing on the point that in case of human males, the testes are functional at the age of 11 to 12 and start producing sperms. Those sperms are produced by the males at the age of 11 to 12. But in case of human females, when she is not born yet, the process of ovum production starts, but it temporarily stops until she's reached at the age of she reached at the age of 10 years, and this particular age is known as puberty age. We will definitely gonna see, like, why it temporarily stop and how it temporarily starts. Like, this is you have the same question that I have asked above: why this particular age, why testis starts producing sperms? What gonna happen? Like, what's going inside the human male body and what's going inside the male body? And the answer is hidden over here that I have just explained. Like, these two hormones, or this hormone, is responsible for the functioning of the testes and ovary. So just for now, we have studied in this particular video only 3 topics, that is meiosis, mitosis, the hormones are related to the reproductive system, and the puberty age. So I just hope that this part 1 of the human reproduction is pretty much clear to you. If you have any kind of doubts, you can just post down those doubts in the comment section below. I will definitely answer those doubts, and I'm gonna see you in the next particular video. Thank you so much.